Good evening and welcome to this session of the live coaching classes organized by the Board of Studies of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. As usual, we have our good friends out there like Alok Ji, Dhyanesh, Nikita Namal, Manoj Kumar Thakur is here, Priyanka, Tauhida, my good friend Aslam, giving me comments as usual, and others. Please, welcome to all of you. Those who join late, kindly don't mistake me if I don't greet you. Just I'll see it and I will know that you are there. Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karvavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu, ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So, yesterday, and rather in the last class, we started the session on management and administration. We made quite a lot of distance, and we have come up to AGM, power of tribunal to call meetings, etc., call AGM and other meetings. Okay. 98. So section 99 is a penal section that tries to once again, he is saying some 121 penalty is removed. What is that 121? So don't put unnecessary comment here, Aslam. Please, if it is not relevant, please do not bring it in. Please. Can I make a humble request to you? Stop using capitals. Stop giving comments that are not relevant for the class. If you have a question, ask. Other than that, I do not want you putting anything in that query pad. Please, humble request to you. Since you are saying that you are a sincere student, then obey me fully. You are distracting and interrupting the class unnecessarily for no reason at all, which I am not happy about. I've been warning you again and again. Please do not do this. Good questions are okay. See, like even our Abdul keeps asking questions and I keep giving him answers. Simply demonstrating and displaying your knowledge. I'm not at all happy. If you want to conduct class, please you come and conduct the class. I will sit there and listen to you. Or you listen to me quietly without interrupting, even in a query pad. Imagine, suppose this is a real class and you are constantly standing up and talking, how it will be? Is it respectful to the teacher to do that? Don't do that. Okay. If any penalty has been removed, kindly do not educate me. I will take it into account myself. Okay, please. I'm sorry to be a little harsh on you, but I think I have to put an end to this. And you are interrupting. Next time onwards, if you put any unnecessary, unconnected comment, however intelligent, however brilliant you are, I will not consider it. I will ignore it. Now it's all I'm telling you. Chalo. Now coming to section 99, with which we are dealing, which is a penalty section. This section deals with penalty for default in holding meeting of the company in accordance with section 96, 97 or 98. 96, normal AGM, not holding an AGM. 97, when the central government directs. 98, any other meeting. That's why they say default in holding a meeting, not AGM. 96 alone will be AGM. 98 would be a meeting. That is EGM also. If you don't comply with any directions of the tribunal, then there's a penalty for the default, which is, as usual, for every company and every officer, there is a fine of 1 lakh. In case of a continuing default, 5,000 rupees for every day during which the default continues. This section 121 deals with report on AGM, right? This section is applicable only to listed companies. Okay. It is a report on the AGM to be filed. A report shall be prepared in form MGT 15 on each AGM, including the confirmation to the effect that the meeting was convened, held and conducted as per the provisions of this Act and the rules made thereunder. The company shall file this MGT 15 with the registrar within 30 days of the conclusion of the AGM. Right? The report on AGM shall be prepared in the following manner. This is in addition to the minutes of the general meeting. The report should be signed and dated by the chairman of the meeting. In case he is not there, then 2 directors of the company, one of whom shall be the MD, if there is one, and the company secretary of the company. The report should contain certain salient information like day, date, hour, and venue, appointment of chairman, number of members attending the meeting, whether the quorum was present. We'll be seeing it in this class. What is quorum and all that. No upper limit. There is no upper limit. Okay. Confirmation with respect to compliance of the Act and the rules, secretarial standards with regard to AGM, etc., etc. Business transacted at the meeting and result thereof. Particulars with respect to any adjournment, postponement of meeting or change in venue, etc. See, the idea is such information should be made public. Any other points relevant for inclusion in the report. And also the report shall contain a fair and correct summary of the proceedings. Okay, this is in addition to the meeting. So this penalty is what he is saying that has been removed. I don't know for sure. I will check up and get back to you. I'm not aware of such a removal. I'll have to check up and get back. As of now, the penalty section, I'm 121.3, I'm dealing with it. I'm not aware of it's being removed. Maybe I'll check up and I'll get back to you. Okay. Maybe it is removed. If he is correct, I will accordingly confirm it. Okay. There is a penalty of fine. And in the case of continuing default 500, here there is a maximum of 5 lakh. Okay. Failure to file report within company, every officer in default. Right. Now, we move on to extraordinary meetings. Okay. All general meetings other than AGM are called extraordinary general meetings. Other than AGM. As you know, there is only one AGM in a year. In addition to AGM, we can have n number of meetings. None of it is compulsory. If you want to have, you can have. These meetings other than AGM are called EGM, Extraordinary General Meeting, also known as EGM. Okay. So the board may, whenever it deems fit, call an EGM. May. So the word may I have highlighted. May means option. If the board wants, it can, whenever it wants. Whenever it wants. Okay. So, okay. Now you are now started asking questions. Irritating, Aslam, irritating. Anyway, I'll check out. So, business transacted at the meeting means what was done, the agenda for the meeting. That is called business transacted at the meeting. Adjournment, postponement, we will talk about it very shortly in detail. At that time, I will tell you. Similar to quorum, which I will deal with later, adjournment and postponement, we will talk about it later. Business transacted means agenda. What are the matters discussed at the meeting, etc. Okay. Adjournment and postponement need to be understood. If we will be jumping the gun. Therefore, when we come to that, I will tell you. In a short while, we will come to that. Once we finish EGM, I will come to that. Now, the board may, whenever it deems fit, call an EGM. The board shall call an EGM at the requisition made by the requisite number of members. Where the requisite number of members has made a requisition. Requisition is nothing but request. When you make it officially, when you make it under a statute, under law, legally, it is called requisition. See, suppose I write to you and see, for example, I am requesting Aslam, please do not put comment. Please do not waste my time like that. This is called request. Politely asked by one human being to another human being. Suppose you are doing it legally under a statute, that is called requisition. The board shall call an EGM at the requisition made by the requisite number of members. It's a very, very important concept. EGM at the requisition of members. It's a legal point. When a requisition has been made by the requisite, that is the required. Requisite means required or necessary number of members. Minimum number of members have made a request or requisition in accordance with that section, then the board shall call an EGM. There's no option, they shall. In case they don't do that, the members can themselves call. We'll see that later. So this is calling of EGM by board on its own motion, suo motu, section 101, on its own motion. Earlier, there was no provision for this. Earlier, under the old law, there was no separate provision for this. Now they have created a provision. The board may, whenever it deems fit, call an EGM of the company, extraordinary general meeting of the company. Please note, whenever it deems fit, that means need not be during business hours. AGM should be during business hours and on a day which is not a national holiday. Whereas EGM need not be during business hours. Even a national holiday can be held. And an extraordinary general meeting of the company shall be held at a place within India. Whereas AGM can be held only at the register office or the same city, town or village. Here, EGM anywhere. Exception. The EGM of a wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India may be held outside. Okay? Indian subsidiary, Indian wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India may be held outside India. EGM, not AGM, EGM. Please understand. Okay. See, just remember these points, because if they ask you in the exam, you should know EGM can be held outside India if the company is a wholly owned subsidiary of a company incorporated outside India. So foreign company ka Indian subsidiary can hold its EGM in an emergency. See what could happen. AGM, they will all come to India and hold it. EGM, there may not be possible to come to India. It's an emergency matter or some important matter. So they can hold it outside India, because wholly owned, the company will be holding 99. One share will be held by, only one share will be held by them, some nominee. Both of them can meet and the company will be represented by a representative. They can have an EGM, pass the resolution, go ahead with their life. Okay. We have already seen, okay, IFSC or specified IFSC, International Financial Services Company. Okay, if an IFSC company is one which is in an international financial services center, where they will be providing service to foreign clients and getting income in foreign exchange. In those cases, they give certain benefits. That too, in case of a specified IFSC private company, the board, that is the board of that company, may, subject to the consent of all the shareholders, convene its EGM at any place within or outside India. So IFSC company has an option. Reason, it may be, the main shareholders may be outside India. Therefore, it can hold outside India. Though it may not be a wholly owned subsidiary of a foreign company. Right? Now, calling of EGM at the requisition of members. Requisition means request. So the members want to have a meeting. Please understand the background. Section 100, subsection 2 to 6 will be invoked only in rarest of rare occasions. The probability may be very low. This is not a standard practice. No member of a company will waste their time requisitioning a meeting. But the power is given because to protect the minority. See, there may be oppression or mismanagement. Later on in final exam, you will study this. When there is oppression or mismanagement, it is quite possible that the members may not, the directors may not hold EGM. Their members may want to discuss certain matters. If they don't call the EGM, how they will come and meet and discuss and pass resolution? Therefore, in order to give the power to these members, they have given this section, the requisite number. So, but then they say 1 or 2 members cannot go and do this nonsense and waste everybody's time frivolously. Therefore, Muhammad Abdullah is asking question as usual. What about the wholly owned subsidiary of Indian company having registered office outside India? Kanna, that is a foreign company, Baba. That will be bound by the rules of the law under which it was registered. It won't be bound by the Companies Act 2013. You understand now? The wholly owned subsidiary of an Indian company registered office outside India means what? It is a foreign company. Am I correct? Such a company will hold its office meeting wherever it wants to hold, as per the law by which it is bound. It can even have it in India if that country is permitting it. Okay. You have understood now? Common sense. Understood now? Okay. That fellow is a foreign company. He is not bound by my law at all. It's just that I am a holding company, is a subsidiary. That's all. He can hold his meeting anywhere he wants. Got it? See, Abdul, asking question is a great achievement. But thinking is an even more greater skill. And then asking. So think on what I am telling. Many of the questions you are asking, no, you can think about it and get the answer. But still I am giving you the answer Not because I want to avoid answering you. But some of these questions are asked only for reverse. You are reversing the situation and asking a question. Chalo, next time I myself will do it for you. Don't worry. Your question I will ask myself. Don't worry. Now, coming to the point. No, it's not that, Abdul and Aslam, I have any issues. It's just that both of you are intelligent students. You are restricting yourself by Aslam, by his ego, thinking that I know, I am doing this, I am doing that, I am studying 25 hours, 27 hours, like that. That is one thing. Abdul, by not going through the broad principles of the law, but rather going into the nitty-gritty, small issues and wasting time thinking about it. Whereas the exam, you can easily clear with 70% by understanding the main part of the law, which I am teaching clearly to you. So it's only when you go into those small areas and create questions, you are thinking that you are being very meticulous in your preparation. Point is, you are wasting your time. Okay, wasting a lot of your time. My time, no problem. You ask me any silly question, I will answer it. Any good question, like sometimes, see, the beauty is sometimes your questions are very intelligent. Sometimes, you are asking obvious questions, which even you can get the answer correctly. So be careful. In your own interest, I'm telling this. As a student to teacher to student, I'm telling this. Be very, very careful. Okay. See, student, in this sort of mode, it is my right to ask a question. It is your bloody duty to answer. Like that, you can think, nothing wrong. And it is my duty to answer, no doubt about it. But sometimes the teacher himself thinks, with more than 30 years of experience in teaching, I'm thinking, when will these students understand that such small things are not important, that knowing the main aspect of the law is very important, like that. So this, kindly don't mistake me for giving this comment, and kindly work on this. Good. Now moving on. So coming back to our requisite number of members. Requisite number means minimum number. Try to remember this. In the case of a company having a share capital, such number of members who hold on the date of receipt of the requisition, such number of members who hold on the date of receipt of the requisition, not less than 1/10 of the paid up share capital of the company as on that date, carrying the right of voting. Not less than 1/10 of the paid up share capital of the company as on that date carries the right of voting. So whenever there's a right of voting, so if there is any paid up share capital which is not having the right of voting, then it will be, then if there is no right of voting, then not to be included. But see, rare. 99% company will have paid up share capital with 1 share, 1 vote, right of voting. Rare case, there will be differential voting right. That too, no voting right at all. 0 voting right. Rare. So for that 1 or 2 rare occurrences, don't break your head. Broadly speaking, most paid up share capital of the company will be carrying full voting, 1 share, 1 vote, which means 1/10 of the paid up share capital of the company. Right? In the case of a company not having a share capital, such number of members who have on the date of receipt of the requisition, not less than 1/10 of the total voting power of all the members having on the said date a right to vote. So, in other words, in the case of company not having a share capital, 1 member, 1 vote. So 1/10 of the number of members, 1/10 of the total voting power. If there is any other method of deciding total voting power, those who are holding not less than, or who are having not less than 1/10 of the total voting power. Okay. So 1 vote equal to what? Calculate. And that whatever it is, if whoever is holding not less than 1/10 will be entailed. Okay. Again, not having share capital, very small percentage. Having share capital, main. So just for information. Now, the requisition shall set out the matters for the consideration of which the meeting is to be called and shall be signed by the requisitionist and sent to the registered office of the company. So earlier there was a view that the requisition need not give the reasons. The requisitionist need not give the reasons. So, LIC of India versus Swaraj Paul, where they said LIC need not give its reasons. It can call a meeting like that. requisition can be given. Then at the meeting they can propose an order. No. The requisition shall set out the matters for the consideration. What are you going to discuss? Set out matters to do it. The requisition may be in writing or through electronic mode, meaning by email also allowed. The requisition shall be provided at least 21 clear days prior to the proposed date of such EGM. Please understand, the members have to serve it, and then the board of directors has 21 clear days for holding. Okay, Vedantora, in the case of company having share capital, one group. Not having share capital, another group. Okay. So, there cannot be a case where a company is one having share capital and not having share capital. It may have share capital and be limited by guarantee. It may not have share capital and be limited by guarantee. But you cannot have a situation where a company both has and does not have share capital. Are you able to understand the anomaly? Therefore, either this or that in there. If it is a company having share capital, top. If it is a company not having share capital, bottom. So, members satisfying both these conditions. How they can satisfy both? That means that company should not have share capital and should have share. Not like that. There are one class of companies having share capital. For that, 1/10 of the paid up share capital. Another class of companies not having share capital, 1/10 of the total voting power of all the members. That's all. So you first see what is the type of company. If it is a company having share capital, then 1/10 of paid up share capital. If it is a company not having share capital, got it? Clear days, we will be seeing it when you come to notice. I will explain clear days. Wait, I will explain to you. It is very, very important concept. I will explain it when we come to notice. Clearly, I will explain it. Don't worry about it. Because, see, the problem is, it's like which chicken or egg situation in meetings. You have to teach something first. Now, if I take up, that is why my guru always teaches AGM, EGM last. He will teach notice, etc. first. But I am not doing it because already I am confusing you by not going in the section order as is given in the Board of Studies no material. Further, if I do this stunt now, you will go mad. And some of you will be asking, sir, when you will cover AGM, when you will cover EGM, like that. So therefore, I humbly suggest that wait a little. Some of these points which will be given to you will be taken up, will be explained to you. Clear days is very important, and I will talk about it when we come to notice. Any reasonable expenses incurred by the requisitionist in calling a meeting on failure by the board to do so shall be reimbursed to the requisitionist by the company. So, in case the requisitions are themselves holding, they may have to incur some expenses now for calling a meeting, may postage, etc. That should be reimbursed to them. The sums so paid or reimbursed shall be deducted from any fee or other remuneration payable to such of the directors who were in default in calling the meeting. See, after all, these people are supposed to hold and call a meeting. They are not done it. They are in default. Because of which these fellows are called. So they are getting a reimbursement. That money, why should the company bear? Ultimately, it is your default. Therefore, any remuneration payable to this chap, it has to be reduced. Now concentrate on this. Once you completely listen to me and then ask a question. So the beginning is date of receipt of a valid requisition in regard to any matter. 21 clear days. Actually, 21 clear days means not including date of posting. Okay, sorry, not including date of receipt and date of meeting. Meaning, suppose I am receiving it today, then from tomorrow, I have to start counting 21. 21 days over now. Then the meeting can be held on the day. It should be held within that 21 days. Means, sorry, the meeting should be held on or a date after that 21 days. See, instead of putting it this way, the Companies Act, they could have said, the company should call the meeting, has the right to call the meeting after 21 days. That is, from the date of receipt of the valid requisition, that is the date of receipt. leave one day, start counting 21. Then once 21st day is over, then the next day onwards, the board, from the next day onwards, the board should proceed to call a meeting for the consideration of that matter. Maximum 45 days. Please see, 45 days. So within 45 days from the date of receipt of a valid requisition, the board to hold that meeting. Board to hold the meeting within 45 days. So requisitions are giving the requisition that I am receiving it post by post or email. That day is not counted. From the next day, count to 21, kadam ho gaya. Then the next day, 22. From that, go till 45. During that gap, you should call and hold a EGM. You can proceed to call it even within 21 days. But the 100% after 21 days is over within 45 days from the date of requisition, valid receipt of requisition, you should hold the meeting. In case the board does not hold the meeting within that said 45 days, then on failure by board, the requisitionists themselves may call and hold the EGM within 3 months from the date of receipt of a valid requisition. Please note this diagram very clearly. All days are measured from the date of receipt of a valid requisition. So this diagram is given to help you understand how to count. So requisitions give the requisition, that day not included, next day onwards count, that is clear days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 21, 21 over, that day will leave, next 22. So from that day onwards till 45th day, board should hold the meeting. Board should hold. They are giving enough time to the board to call, okay, and hold a meeting. Board is not holding, failure. Then the requisitionists themselves have 3 months from the date of receipt. Of course, 45 days will be over. So don't ask me that question. 3 months, out of that 3 months, 45 days you are waiting. That time should not be included. But beyond 45 days, 46th day onwards, for 3 months you have time. Not 90 days, 3 months. Means whatever day to day. Suppose you deposited it today, then count from tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow is 16th. So 16th means 16th March. So 15th April, 15th May, 15th June. On or before 15th June, you can call and hold the EGM. The requisitionists themselves can call and hold the. No, the requisitions are aliens who come from Mars. What do you think, Aslam? The requisitions are aliens who have come to Earth from Mars. What do you think? Should they be shareholders or not? Boss, what does it say here? Requisition by member. Requisite number of member. So, if you are going to be very particular about it, they are not shareholders, they are members. Okay, sir? Sorry, I am being very sarcastic today with Aslam. But think about it. Very clearly, the slide uses the word member. Then you are asking requisition of shareholder. How do I know? You know what is a shareholder, what is a member. I have told you already. Member means person who applies in writing to become a member and whose name is entered in the register of members. So this bugger's name should be in the register of member. Only then he is a member. He may have sold his share, but his name is in the register of members. Then he is a member but not a shareholder. He might have purchased the share, but his name may not be entered in the register of members. Then he is not a member, but he is a shareholder. Therefore, this section applies only to members whose name is mentioned in the register of members. Clear, sir? So to answer your question, requisitionists need not be shareholders. But they have to be members. Okay, got it? There's a slight distinction between member and shareholder. Though, for all intents and purposes, we use those words synonymously. There's a small difference. There could be a guy who is the shareholder, meaning he purchased the share and he's holding it, but his name is not entered in the register of members. Maybe he is not registered. Then he is a shareholder but not a member. Such fellow will not be covered in this category. Got it? Good. Nothing wrong. See, today I'm a little thing because a lot of ground has to be covered. Therefore, right, agreed. But I hope you have understood the difference between shareholder and member. I want to be very clear about it because in many sections they use the word member. And the word member has been defined in the Companies Act. Therefore, I would prefer to use the word member, which is clear and unambiguous, rather than shareholder, which is dangerous. You will never notice me using the word shareholder unless by slip of tongue. Section says member, I will say member only. I will not use the word shareholder. If board has not held at the meeting, English is held. The board has not held the meeting within 45 days and before 3 months, the AGM falls in between, then no. If there is another AGM to be held by the board, that AGM will be held. In addition to that, you have to call this AGM. If you don't hold it within 45 days, then the requisitionists can have one more AGM. They can hold. That AGM has nothing to do. Again, a very controversial but interesting question. Again, confused question. Question of a confused person who is always getting confused. See, later on, once you clear your CA, you will become a very good sort of auditor, sort of always asking doubts, questions. Maybe you are ideally suited to become a member of my institute because always this, that, like this, like that. Maybe you will become an expert in India and, confuse people by like this, what, like that, what, like that. Good, but see, the problem is people like you know how to ask question. Unfortunately, people like me know only how to answer question. Tell me which is better, ability to ask question or to answer question. Chartered accountant doesn't get paid for asking question. He gets paid for the really well-paid members of our institute. We are there to answer questions, not to ask. So I'm giving you the answer. Even if an AGM falls in between, still the AGM can be called by the requisitionists. AGM has nothing to do with it. AGM is for the board to call. Okay. In between, if there is an AGM, let it be held. They can still call the AGM. Nothing. It is the statutory right, Baba. If this fellow does not hold within 45 days, he can. Again, the board cannot say, we have not held within 45 days. Anyway, we are having AGM, now you come and join. No. It is the statutory duty of the board to hold it within 45 days. Failure to do so is a default. And the right of the requisitionist to hold the AGM is there, irrespective of whether there is an AGM in between or not. Good question. Given an answer. I hope you are happy with the answer. And do you notice one more thing, Mr. Abdul? Almost all other students use the word sir whenever they address me. What do you think? 57-year-old man. Huh? I have been a teacher for 32 years. What do you think? That 3 extra letters will cost you a lot of finger typing. You are asking so many long questions. 3 extra letters are going to cost you a lot of time. Just my thought. Because today you are not giving respect to a teacher. This habit should not continue in your emails when you become a corporate executive. When you are addressing your GM or DGM in your company, somebody, that respect giving is something that's culture, nothing more than that. Okay, it's up to you to adopt it or not adopt it. It has nothing to do with company law. It has nothing to do with the subject I'm teaching. But it is generally something to do with the culture. Okay, it's something people will. You'll notice every other student uses the word sir when they address me. Okay, so it's up to you. That you are right. You are typing paragraphs on paragraphs of question. Huh? Chali, see. Buddha hai na, thoda advice de dunga. Take it or leave it, it's up to you. So requisition is hold AGM within 90 days. You are absolutely correct, Ms. Lakshmi. Yeah. Again, remember the key is not days. 90, no, not 90 days. Madam, you didn't hear me. Have I put? Hey. Anke na, dekhiye na. What have I put there? 3 months. Did I say 90 days? There is a big difference between days and months. When you come to General Classes Act, you will see. Number of days means you have to count. See, 21 days means you have to count. 1, 2, 3. 45 days you have to count. 3 months means day to date. Date to date. So if you say 16th, then 15th will become month end. You understand? So that is why you have to be very careful about. Thank you. Thank you, Abdul, for taking that hint and adding that small 3 letters, which will not cost you much to type, I hope. So you got it now, madam. It's not, and moreover, it's not 90 days, it's 3 months. Again, remember, if the board fails to hold the meeting within 45 days from the date of deposit of valid requisition, the requisitionists themselves can call and hold a meeting within 3 months from the date of receipt of the valid requisition, date of deposit. 3 months. I know I'm nitpicking here, but these things matter. This is going to be very important. Remember that 3 months is different from 90 days. Okay. Date of requisition will not be included. Don't say date of requisition. Date of receipt will not be included. See, our Aslam was asking now, what is 21 clear days? Clear days means not including date of receipt and date of meeting. So, the date of receipt should be ignored. Then start counting from the next day, 21 days. After the 21 day over, the next day, 22 onwards, till 45th day, they have to hold the meeting. Okay. Thank you, Sri Lakshmi ji. It's very important. That is why thanks for asking that question in that way. For convenience also, don't write 90 days when it is 3 months in the section. It is, they are alag. Okay. Thank you. Now, some more rules relating to calling and holding of meeting by the requisitionists themselves, where the requisitionists themselves call and hold. Such meeting called and held by the requisitionists shall be called and held in the same manner in which meeting is called and held by the board, meaning they should give notice, 21 days notice. That is why they are given 3 months to hold. So they should give 21 days notice. Quorum should be present. Everything is the same. Chairman should be elected. Except that it is not being called by the board, it is being called by the requisitionists themselves. Notice shall specify the place, date, and day, and shall contain the business to be transacted. Requisitionists should convene the meeting at the registered office or in the same city or town. Village is not there, only city or town is there. I have just included it as a matter of interest. Section does not have the word village. So same city or town where the registered office is situated, and such meeting should be convened on any day except national holiday. Please note, normal EGM can be held even on a national holiday, because whenever it deems fit, when the board is calling, it can be held on a national holiday, not during business hours. But when requisition is calling it, it can be held on any day except national holiday. Again, it need not be during business hours. Okay. Notice shall be signed by all the requisitionists, by a requisitionist or requisitionists duly authorized in writing by all other requisitionists on their behalf. Okay. By sending an electronic request, attaching therewith a scanned copy of such duly signed requisition. See, suppose we are using electronic form, then how will they sign? There is no digital signaturing and all that. So, what they should do, they should sign on a paper, scan that, attach it along with the email that they are sending. Got it? But it's compulsory should be signed by all the requisitionists. If the resolution is to be proposed as a special resolution, then 114.2, that is explanatory statement has to be given. We'll come to that later. When we come to special resolution, we'll talk about explanatory statement. This means that the intention to propose the requisition as a special resolution should be duly specified in the notice. Also, you have to give explanatory statement, etc. Later on, we will see that any business to be transacted at any meeting other than AGM is special business. Special business requires an explanatory statement. When the EGM is called by the board, stating the reason, no such explanatory statement need to be annexed to the notice of an EGM convened by the requisitionists. Where the requisitionists are doing it, they are not bound by this section and they need not give an explanatory statement. Okay. But when the board is calling it, they are bound. So they have to give an explanatory statement. But when the requisitionists are calling themselves, there is no need for explanatory statement. But the requisitionists may disclose the reasons for the resolution which they propose to move. It makes sense to do it because then, see, after all, the whole purpose of this meeting is to call all the members, create awareness, maybe pass certain resolutions, including one of the main resolutions they will be passing would be removal of the managing director, other directors. So you need to give good reasons. Why? Got it? See, sometimes removal of a director can be done by this method because the director may be doing some fraud. So they will call a meeting, remove him, take over the management. All that can be done. Right. Now, I will ask you a question. I will also answer it. In case the number of requisition is not sufficient. Suppose in the case of a company having share capital, we are not able to get 1/10 or more, not less than 1/10. Then what I will do? Then I will go under 98. Got it? I will go under 98. I will go to the tribunal and ask for holding. Are you able to understand? If this is not possible, only then I'll go there. If I have the requisite number, then I will come through section 100(2)(6) and I will do it. Chalo. Now, the notice of the meeting shall be given to those members whose names appear in the register of members of the company within 3 days on which the requisition is deposited with the company, a valid requisition for calling an EGM. So within 3 days, whoever has become member will be entitled to notice of the EGM. Where the meeting is not convened, that is by the board, the requisition shall have a right to receive list of members. Or otherwise, how will they know? With the registered address and number of shares held. And the company is bound to give the same as on the 21st day from the date of receipt of valid requisition. Got it? If any, before the expiry of the 45 days. So you are not holding, then within that, as on the date 21st day, you have to give. Which is why they are getting made as on 21st day. Because 21st day will not be counted. So 22 onwards now. So between 22 to 45, you should give, either you call and hold, board calls and holds, or give the details to this bugger so that they can call and hold within 90 days or 3 months. Within 3 months. From the date of receipt of the valid. Yeah, then go to tribunal is the correct answer. I think both Janesh and Mohammad Aslam have got the correct answer. Exactly. So if you are not able to do here, go there. Power is given there. The notice of meeting shall be given by speed post or registered post or through electronic mode. Any accidental omission to give notice to or the notice of non-receipt shall not invalidate the proceeding. Accidental omission. See, 1 or 2 fellows left out, they can't come and make a fuss. Sorry, Baba. Or maybe while typing out the address, it has been typed out, wrongly. Then it cannot be given. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Gokul. Madam வந்துட்டாங்களா? சரி. நீ இப்ப போற இல்லையா? நாளைக்கு as usual வந்து. நாளைக்கு வண்டியை கொடுக்க வேண்டியிருக்கும். நான் சொல்றேன், ஃபோன் பண்றேன். சரி. Sorry. Friends, one more thing how I missed out, I don't know. Question given, proposed date. Okay. Clear. Chalo. So we have now finished completely the concept of calling of EGM. Okay. By requisition. Okay. And also calling of EGM by board. Right. Just read it. Okay. Now, before we proceed, I want to contemplate on one question. Usually in my classes, I will ask this question to my students. And generally, we will take about 10 to 15 minutes discussing it. It's a very esoteric question. Your understanding of the fundas of company law will improve if you understand this. Whenever I ask who is the company, immediately at a shallow level, many students will immediately respond and say, what you don't know this? Company is an artificial person, separate legal entityship, perpetual succession, blah, blah, blah. I agree with them. What you're telling is correct. But it is answering the question, what is the company? I am asking, who is the company? When you say the company has done something, who has done it? It's a very powerful question. See, even at the cost of irritating some of you, let me go to Kenopanishad. See, in the Kenopanishad, the fundamental question they are asking, Keneshitam patati preshitam manaha kena prana pratama praiti yuktaka keneshitam vacham imam madanti. Okay, see, it's a very powerful question. When you are, when I am now talking to you, who is talking? Very fundamental question. Just a contemplation of that is one Upanishad with about 19 to 25 verses. Who is it that is talking now to you? Is it Shrikant the body? Is it Shrikant the mind? Or is it something beyond that? That is a philosophical question. Sorry. Now, my purpose not to teach you philosophy, but to make you understand. Similarly, if you ask who is it that is not talking like that, when you say that the company has passed a special resolution, who has passed it? Welcome back, or rather welcome me back. I had a small internet problem as usual. In spite of our chanting, internet is a problem. I have 3 valid connections, but my laptop has some problem. I'm unable to detect, and only one of my office regular Wi-Fi is connecting. I have my own router in my cabin that is not connecting. My mobile hotspot is also not connecting. It's becoming a real pain. Anyway, some of you would have already made a complaint, etc. Video is stopped, but now I think it would have come back again. So I was asking you a question about who is the company. I gave you an esoteric comment, and then I said the company is a majority of its members passing a resolution at a validly convened, constituted, and conducted meeting. Right? So this, if you understand this principle, you will easily understand the general provisions relating to meeting. General provisions relating to meeting. So every meeting should be convened. There should be a notice, either special or ordinary. Special notice we already saw. When we saw auditors, we saw special notice. Then it should be validly constituted. That means the minimum number of members forming a quorum should attend. It should be validly conducted. That means there should be business. Also, for conducting business, there will be voting. So the question of proxy will come. Whether a proxy can be counted for quorum, whether a proxy can be counted for quorum, and whether business can be conducted, and whether a proxy can vote on what, how we can vote, etc., etc. All that is there. Also, the meeting will have to conduct business, meaning agenda, matters to be discussed. That could be special, ordinary. So many things we have to see. But before we go there, I want to ask you one question. When the requisition is to be signed by all the requisition is, suppose there are 2 guys who are jointly holding share, joint shareholders. Will they be taken as 1 member or 2 members? Okay, because you may not know it, I'll tell you. In the case of section 100, 2 to 6, when the requisitions are signing, joint shareholding will be taken as separate, 2 members. 2 members, separate. Got it? Both, when they sign, 2 are signing, not 1. The prohibition or the condition that in the case of joint shareholders, they will be taken as 1 is not there for requisitionist meeting. Okay, just for your information. So, see, this will be, you have to be very careful. There is no general rule that joint shareholding means it is taken as 1. In this section, there is no such prohibition. Later on, you might see there is a prohibition elsewhere. Then, for that provision, joint will be taken as 1. So, there is no answer for it. In this case, it is not there. Okay. Both can sign. That is the answer I give you now. Okay. Now, first we have to see notice. Actually, there is nothing called ordinary notice. There is nothing called ordinary notice. You have notice of meeting. There is something called special notice, which is given by the member to the company. How it should be given, we will see 115 later. We already saw it when we discussed auditors. So it is not as if, since that is a special resolution, this is called ordinary. No, this is called notice of meeting. Notice of meeting is compulsory. A meeting held without giving valid notice is not validly convened. Therefore, any resolution passed thereat is invalid. That is why you have to be very careful while convening a meeting. You have to ensure that you comply with these rules. First is length of notice. It should be not less than 21 clear days notice, right? For a Section 8 company, this 21 days should be read as 14 days. For a Section 8 company, you can call an AGM by giving 14 days notice. You can call a general meeting by giving 14 days notice. Whereas for other than Section 8 company, the length of notice is not less than 21 clear days. Clear days means the date on which notice is served, that is the date on which the notice is served and the date of meeting are excluded for sending the notice. Please note, later on in general classes also you will see where a notice is sent by ordinary course of post, normal post, it shall be deemed to be delivered on the expiration of 48 hours. It is there in general classes. Here also in Rule 35(6) of the Companies Incorporation Rule 2014, they say, where a notice of a general meeting is sent by post, it shall be deemed to be served at the expiration of 48 hours after the letter containing the same is posted. Got it, sir? Now this is for postage. So when you are sending it by post, you go to the post office, you post it. Usually, smartly, what we will do, we will get certificate of posting. Meaning we will get a certificate from the postmaster saying, this was posted on such and such a day. That's all. He is not guaranteeing delivery and all. For that, you have to register it. Registered post. We are not sending by registered post. We are sending by ordinary post. But we are getting certificate of posting. Just to be on the safer side. So we will say, we have a list of members with address, etc. They will put a chop on that and put the sign and say, this date, these covers were received. Right, sir? That is the date of posting. From that date, 48 hours you have to see. Hours. So hour to hour, 48 hours. Got it? So if it is posted on 10 a.m. on 15th March 2023, then 48 hours will expire. 10 a.m. not 10:00:00. So it will be expiring at 10:59. Am I correct? On 9:59 on 48 hours. That means 15, 16, 16, 17. 9:59 hours. 17th March, 48 hours over. So if it is put in the ordinary course of post, on the expiration of 48 hours, it will be deemed to have been served or delivered. So clear days means date on which his notice is served and the date of meeting are excluded. So be very, very clear. Today I have posted, 48 hours will expire on 17th. Whatever time I posted, 48 hours will expire on 17th of March. 17th is not to be included. 17th is to be excluded because that is the date of service. From 18th onwards you count. March, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 10, 28, 29, 30, 31. 14 days. So, March, May, 14 days. Right, sir? 14 days. Now, I have to count 21 now. So, 21 minus 14, I have 7 more days. 7 days. Means 7th of April. 7th of April, 21st day will get over. Am I correct? 7th of April, 21 days will get over. 7th of April should be excluded. Then you have to count, take the next day. Meeting date is to be excluded. So, posted on 15th, served on 17th, 17th to be excluded, date of meeting to be excluded. In between, you have to count 21 days. So, 18th onwards, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. 14 days. 31st March. Then 14 plus 7, make it 21. So 7 days of April. So 7th of April is the last 21st day. After the expiry of 7th, 21st of August, 7th of April, 8th of April onwards, you can hold. But minimum you should give 21. So usually people will give like exact. They will calculate 21 days. Then the next day or the next day they will hold the meeting. So that 21 clear days. Company cannot curtail the requirement of clear days through its articles. Okay. So now I hope my good friend Mr. Aslam would think. Yeah, I would love to say broadly 23 days and words like that. I'm not going to say broadly 23 days. I'm going to say very clearly in the legal way. Clear days means not including the date of service and the date of meeting. Therefore, when it is put in the course of post, suppose it is sent by email, it will be delivered on that day itself. Instantaneous delivery. So that day will not be included. Next day onwards, you start counting. If it is email, it is simple. 48 hours and all, you need not bother. That is why, my dear friend Aslam ji, I am not telling broadly 23 days and all. Suppose it is email, what you will do? 23 days are. No, sir. Because if you send the email now, it will be delivered today. Suppose you send that email at 12 midnight, then it will be delivered next day. Baba, then next day will not be included. What to do? Yeah. If you keep on asking questions like this, I will keep on giving you answers. But the principle involved is very simple. Date of service is not to be included. Date of meeting not to be included. In between 21 days. Count it. Then take. Okay. That is a correct one. So 9:59 or whatever it is. Okay, 9:59 or whatever it is. Basically, if you post it today, day after tomorrow, it'll expire. But be careful. Okay, that's all I would say. Okay. See, whenever we say hours, we have to count hour to hour. Whenever we say day, we have to count day to day count. Month, you have to count from day to day, not counting, day to day. So 15th means 1 month will expire on 14th next month. 14th April, it will expire. That's all. All this is given in General Classes Act. Now, 35(6) of the Companies Act also talks about 48 hours. I'm just giving it to you as a matter of interest. Okay. You understand? Good. This is clear days. Aslam asked me what is clear days. I have explained what is clear days. So I have given you in diagram form also. Date of posting, 48 hours. Date of service, not including. Then start counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 21. 21st day over. Then next day, you can have date of meeting or any other day after that. Okay. So the directors of Signy 21 Mines Limited posted the notice for an AGM on July 25th. Okay. The meeting was scheduled on August 14th. Is this valid? Count and see whether my answer is correct. You're all, no? So, thank you, Mr. Ganesh, for confirming that 21 clear days is now clear to you. Thank you. So, directors of Signy Mines, 21 Mines Limited posted the notice for an AGM on July 25th. August 14th. So, posted on 25th July. So, 25, whatever time it's posted, 26, 27th, it will be delivered. Right, sir? Then, 27th. So, 28 onwards, you count. 28 means 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. July may 31 days, so 31. So 28, 29, 30, 31. 4 days in July. 4 days in July. I'm not as smart as you are. I cannot do calculation in my mind. I prefer paper and pencil calculator. What to do? That way I will never make mistake. I will never trust my mind. I always do the calculation. Okay. In paper, rough paper, then I will do it properly. That way I will ensure that accuracy levels are high. So mind me, I can't do this mental mathematics. Buddhu, that way. So 4 days in July. August 21 minus 4, 17. 17th August is the last day. 21st day is 17th August. So 18 onwards, you can hold on any day. But these buggers have held it on 14th. Therefore, it is invalid. Okay. So, better to, as rightly pointed out by Aslam, use pen, paper, calculator, calculate, recheck, and then write. Don't do mental mathematics. Unless you're good. There are some people who are born brilliant. You can give them a complicated equation, they will immediately solve it in the mind. I am not like that. Otherwise, I would have gone to IIT. I would not have studied CA and got rank and all. I would have gone to IIT. And then IIM possibly. Because maths I am weak only, I couldn't go there. Okay. No problem. So you understood what is clear days? They may ask you a couple of questions here because it's crunchable and they can ask you here. So be careful. So principles are very, very simple. Once you understand the principle, you see this diagram, take it in your mind photographically. Don't have to remember blah blah. Now comes the real $1 million question. Can a meeting be convened by giving shorter notice? So in an emergency, some issue is there. I want to give shorter notice. Can I do it? Yes, you can. A general meeting may be called after giving shorter notice if consent in writing or by electronic mode is accorded by the requisite number of members as detailed below. Again, requisite number means minimum number. If this number agrees, then you can give shorter notice. But before giving shorter notice, you have to get the consent in writing or by electronic mode. So you have to say we are going to give shorter notice. If you have any objection, so if you have no objection, usually what we will do is we'll say if you have any exception, if you have any objection, indicate. If you do not indicate, it is not objection. We assume that you have no objection. Whatever it is, not less than 95% of the members entitled to vote thereat. If they agree to shorter notice, then AGM can be held by giving shorter notice. Please see left-hand side and right-hand side. For AGM, 95% of the members entitled to vote thereat. For EGM, in the case of company having share capital, majority in number of members entitled to vote and who represent not less than 95% of such part of the paid up capital as gives the right to vote. See, every time they are assuming that there is a company where paid up share capital is divided into two parts. Normal equity shares, differential voting right shares with zero voting, no right to vote. Only in that case, this whole issue will come. Normal company will have only paid up share capital with full right. That is one share, one vote. In those cases, straight away you calculate 95% of paid up share capital. It is not enough if 95 agree. For EGM, in the case of a company having share capital, majority in number of members also should agree, who also represent not less than 95%. Got it? I don't know why this is not there for AGM, but for EGM it is there. The logic is very simple. Suppose in one company, right, 4% of the paid up share capital, 4% of the paid up share capital is held by 50 people. 4% is held by 50 people. 96% is held by 3 people. 96% is held by 3 people. 4% is held by 50 people. Now, it is enough if 95 agree now. So if these 3 fellows agree, they can have an EGM by giving shorter notice. No, you should also get majority in number. So out of that 50, total is 53. Majority in number should agree. You got it? So 53 means 52, 25, 26 and a half, 27. So 27 should agree. So 3 means another 24 should agree from there. Only then you can go for shorter notice. The idea is to protect the minorities. But my question is different. Why this is not there for AGM? Mujhe nahi malum. Same protection should be given for AGM also, right? I don't know why they have not given. Accorded means given. Acknowledged, given. Accorded means given. I hereby accord my permission. That means I hereby give my permission. Accorded means it's a very old and very complicated way of saying given. Kindly give your permission, sir. Kindly accord your permission. According, accord, accordingly, therefore. Okay. So in accordance with. So accord, give their permission. Agree. To be in accord is to agree. So agreed to by. Accorded means agreed to by. Okay. English is a very, very complicated language. You can keep on learning it and still not learn it fully. So my humble request to all of you, start a beginning. Okay. Good. Every time Muhammad is asking, Aslam is asking this question, I'm happy. Because that way he is learning more words in English. So I'm very happy that Aslam is asking these questions. I'm happy to answer him. So accorded means agreed to. So a general meeting may be called after giving shorter notice if consent in writing or electronic mode is given, or if the requisite number of members agrees to it. That's what it means. Okay. Now, in the case of EGM, in the case of company not having share capital, members having not less than 95% of the total voting power. Meaning, if there is no share capital, then only number of members. One member, one vote. So, not less than 95% of the number of members should agree. Not less than means, suppose you have a fraction, you round off to the nearest higher number. I repeat, whenever you see the word not less than, and the number is an odd number, and you get a fraction, then that fraction should be rounded off to the nearest higher number, not to the nearest lower number. Please, are you able to understand my point? So, if 95% results in 0.33, then also you have to go to the higher number. If 95% results in 0.443, then also you have to go to the higher number. With whatever you get answer, you have to go to the higher number. The normal rounding off will not work when it is not less than. Have you understood the point? See, 53 na. 53, I said divided by 2. Majority in number na. So 53 divided by 2, I will get 52 means 26, 1/2. So 26 and a half na. 26 and a half is exactly 50%. So not less than, and majority means more than that. So 27. Okay, one more. 26. 26 will become 27. Technically, I'll need 28. One more guy should. But 26 and a half will be exactly half. So 27 will be majority. Similarly, you calculate 95%. Suppose you get a fraction, 0.43. Round it off to the nearest higher. Okay. Where any member of a company is entitled to vote only on some resolution or resolutions, those members shall be taken into account for the purpose of this provision in respect of the former resolution and not in respect of the latter. Easy to understand. You all know that preference shareholders are entitled to vote on any resolution which concerns them. Only those resolutions they are entitled to vote. So in those cases, for calculating 95% or majority, etc., you will include preference shareholders. But there may be other matters where they are not, their right is not affected. Those resolutions, they should not be taken into account. I think there you can easily understand my explanation. A valid notice must state the day, date, hour, place of the meeting, and shall contain a statement of business to be transacted in that meeting. Business means agenda, matters to be discussed at the meeting. That's all. So don't worry about business. Business here, don't think business means buying and selling goods and all. Not that business. For example, you come to my office and I ask you, what is your business? That means, why are you here? What is the purpose of your visit? That is what business means. Sometimes some friend comes and asks you a question. Have you had breakfast? Is it none of your business? What do you mean? It's not your concern, man. Don't worry about it. That is not subject you should be worried about. So what is the subject discussed at that meeting? That's called business. Shorter notice could even be 48 hours. Can be anything less than 21 days. Shorter notice. So long as 1 day at least you should give notice, but 3 hours notice, 4 hours, it depends. If they agree, you give. What is that? There is no shorter, less than this. There is no such prescription of not less than how many days. Nothing like that. They have not prescribed. See, suppose you give them 6 hours notice, they may not agree. That's all. Think about it. You have to get his consent and then only can give shorter notice. Reasonably, you should be. At least you should give him 48 hours or 24 hours to take a decision. Then maybe you can use it. It's a reasonableness. There is no law, legal prescription. See, everything the law may not guide you, Mr. Abdul. Somewhere the law also will expect the citizen to have common sense. That is why whenever they go to court, the court will also apply reasonableness. So that is why, law is not an exact science where you cannot prescribe rules and rules and rules and rules. Somewhere the rules stop and reasonableness has to come, common sense has to prevail. Human being has to become human being, not a machine. So only machine can be given rule. Robots can be given rules. They will only follow rule. Human being has to apply common sense and reason, which is where machine will fail. Machine cannot apply common sense. Machine will foolishly apply rule. Whereas human being can apply common sense, reasonableness, context, situation, why it was like that, purpose, intention, all that is possible only for a human being. Okay. So law is not a study of rules. Law is a study of principles, fundamental principles for which rules have been made. These rules can sometimes be changed where reasonableness is taken into account. And when you do that, then only you are a true student of law and not merely arguing that section says like this, therefore like this, like that. If you argue, you are restricting your own thinking process. Don't do that. Rather, understand the principle involved. What is the principle here? There is some important matter to be transacted. We don't have time. We want to give shorter notice. So there you have to be reasonable. Now, they have not prescribed a lower limit. Therefore, you can go and give 24 hours notice. They will not agree. That's all. You send him a mail saying, we are going to hold the meeting tomorrow. Please give your consent. They'll say, go to hell. They won't agree. Then you have to give normally. You say, 7 days you have to give. Then you send, I'm going to hold it on such and such a day by giving shorter notice. Kindly say whether you're okay for it. So reasonableness, 7 days. Like that you should think. I'm not prescribing 7 days, but I'm saying reasonable. They have left it to you. Since they are saying shorter notice, thereafter they don't want to get into it and say not less than this and all that. You do whatever. If your members are willing, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, no problem. So long as you get the consent in writing or by electronic mode. See, suppose there are only 7 members, all of them are available on email. You send a mail. Within 2 hours, they send the consent. All of them give their consent. Hold it the next day. Who is preventing you? Give the notice in email. They acknowledge they come for the meeting, attend, meeting over. Why not? That is again reasonable. Principle is more important here. Okay? Understand the principle. Fantastic. A valid notice must state our date, our place of the meeting, contain a statement of business to be transacted. Who is entitled to receive notice? Every member of the company, legal representative of any deceased member or the assignee of an insolvent member. See, legal representative of a deceased member is not a member. It's only legal representative. When he will become member? Only when the transmission is completed. Then he will become a member in his own right. Till such time, he is only a legal representative of a deceased member. Assignee, in case of an insolvency, the assignee will take over the assets. So the assignee of an insolvent member is not a member, but is entitled to receive notice of meeting. Auditor or auditors are entitled to receive notice of all general meetings. We saw that in the auditor's position also. It's a right of the auditor to receive notice of all general meetings. But he shall attend AGM. That is the duty to attend AGM is there. Whenever a matter of accounts are taken up, he has the right to talk. So auditor shall get notice of all general meetings. See, this could be a question. The company secretary of Dubacor Limited does not serve notice of EGM to an auditor. Auditor says he is entitled. He is entitled. You have to serve notice on him. Similarly, every director of the company, whether he is a member or not, is entitled to receive notice. Because he has to come there. Now, sometimes you might be trying to remove him. If you don't give him notice, how he will come? So he is entitled to notice and he will come. Okay. Now, notice we have seen any accidental omission to give notice. Accidental is a very, very important word. Again, how to say accidental? Seriously, I don't know. When it will become accidental, you have to prove it. Circumstances of the case will decide. Yeah. You understand? See, we have typed out everything correctly. But due to the clerical error, one name got left out. That fellow was not given notice. Non-receipt of such notice by any member or other person who is entitled shall not invalidate the proceedings of the meeting. But you should show that the omission was accidental and not intentional. On top of this paragraph, in that box, I have written Ganga clause. Why? Because, see, this is a purification clause. When some error is committed or when some omission is made, unintentionally, it will not invalidate the provision. So this clause 1014 purifies any defect. Therefore, we call it Ganga clause. Just like the holy river Ganga can purify you. If you take a dip in the Ganga, you are purified from all sins. Similarly, this section ensures that small omission, accidental omission, will not invalidate the meeting proceedings. So it purifies the proceedings. Therefore, it is called Ganga clause. You will see similar Ganga clauses in many provisions of the Act. Okay. Section 101 shall apply to private company unless otherwise specified, okay, in respect to section or to a specified IFSC company unless otherwise specified in the articles of the company. It will section 101 shall apply to a private company otherwise unless otherwise specified in respect to sections or the articles of the company provide otherwise. So private company by its articles can provide otherwise. Private company by its articles can provide otherwise. And the IFSC company in its articles can provide otherwise. Okay. But even in that case, remember, clear days cannot be curtailed by articles. Company cannot curtail the requirement of clear days through its articles. No. Other than that, you do whatever. Chalo. Good. How to send? Mode of sending. Send it by electronic mode. Electronic mode means authorized to secure computer program which is capable of producing confirmation and keeping a record of such communication address to the person entitled and at the last electronic mail address provided by the member. So, instead of saying email, they are giving an elaborate definition. You can send it by electronic mail. Which mail you will send? Last email address given. If it is a listed company, then once a depository participant account, DP account is opened, whatever email address is given in the DP account shall be deemed to be your official email. The company sends it to that email address, served. That's all. You might have changed the email address. That is not our problem. Okay. You go change your DP ID. Go to the DP, change your profile. Remove that email, this email. Send it to you. Got it? That is why when you give an email ID to a DP, be very, very careful. Do not change that email address or at least access that email address. Because important notices, communications may be sent, including rights offer, bonus offer, buyback offer will be sent only to that email address. So whatever email address you give to the DP, ideally, do not change your email address and mobile number. My humble submission to you, this is again not required, but still as in my usual style, I'm giving you unsolicited suggestions like do not change your mobile number, do not change your email. See, you might be joining a number of companies. That company may give you on mobile, use it for corporate communication, blah, blah. Your personal mobile number, you should have one. So if suppose the auditor of the company becomes very close to you, as a CFO, you will give your official, that company ka mobile number to him. In addition to that, if you want to be closer to him and you say, sir, in case you have one anything, you can call me, give him your mobile number, which you should not change. You never know when somebody will call you on that number at any stage in your life. Some good benefits you will lose if you change the number. He might be searching for a good CFO for a company with a high salary. One of clients may be inquiring. So he may remember you. He may be calling you to find out if you are available so that you can be hired. Keeps on calling, your old number, you have changed it, is a new number he doesn't have. So this is how you should be very careful. Have one number which you give to a trusted group of people. The other corporate number, your corporate vendors give. Once you leave that company, go to another company, simply change the number, take the new number. So you go there in the new corporate life, you have a new corporate mobile number, new corporate email ID. But there should be one permanent email ID and one permanent mobile number for you for a lifetime. Okay, just to make it as a consideration from a person who has experienced in life. My mobile number 1991, same mobile number I'm having, never changed. Okay, I will not tell you what it is, but it has been maintained same. Except that I moved from RPG to Aircell to Airtel. That's all. Other than that, the last 5 digits same, and next 5 digits from 1995 have been the same. Same 95 onwards, same number. Okay. A notice may be sent through email as a text or an attachment to email or a notification providing electronic link or URL. So you can also keep it on a site URL on a web page and you can give the URL link to it. So that all he has to do is click on the link, he will get the notice which you can download and keep it in his record. Okay? Nothing wrong. All are allowed. Email shall be addressed to the person entitled to receive such email as per the records of the company as provided by the depository. So when it's a listed company, then depository. That's all. I'm sorry, I'm being a little emphatic here, even at the cost of appearing to be boring. But there is no exception to it. So don't waste your time giving exception rules and all that. Company to provide an advanced opportunity at least once in a financial year to the member to register his email address and the changes. This is not there for listed company. Listed company SEBI guidelines are very clear. Depository DP rules are very clear. Whatever email you give there will be shared with SEBI. Will simply put it up. The company will have a link. They will take it from there. That's all. And that is it. That is the official email ID for you. This facility is available only to those members who have not got their email ID recorded or updated and a fresh email ID, and not for the members whose email IDs are already registered. The subject line in email shall state the name of the company, notice of the type of meeting, place, and date on which the meeting is scheduled. The idea is you should immediately see it and take notice. The notice shall be placed simultaneously on the website of the company, if any. And if any notified website of central government, nothing. But listed companies put it on SEBI website. From where everybody will take it and put it. Money control, everybody will put it. A general meeting has to be called by the board. An individual director does not have an authority to call a general meeting. That is why, in case the board is not calling and one director is only there, 3 directors are there, 2 fellows die, only 1 director, what to do? He does not have the authority. He has to go to the tribunal and get a direction. That is why 98 is there. You understand? Any notice of general meeting given without the sanction of the board is invalid. However, it can be ratified by the board subsequently. So one director gives notice, later on board can ratify. But if the board does not ratify, the meeting is invalid. Okay. Now, move on. We'll go on till 7:45 and then have a small break and then start. Okay. Business means matters or agenda to be transacted at the meeting. Okay. Business, section 102(2). The following matters are ordinary business if transacted at an AGM. Please understand, there are 2 types of business. Ordinary business, special business. Business means, I've already been telling it many times. So, business means the matters or agenda to be transacted at the general meeting. Matters, agenda to be transacted at the meeting. The following items of agenda, if transacted at an AGM, are called ordinary business. The following matters are ordinary business if transacted at an AGM. 1. The consideration of the financial statements and the reports of the board of directors and auditors. Say, financial statement, adopting the accounts and the reports, board report and auditors. Got it? We already saw that in accounts. Declaration of any dividend, ordinary business. If done at an AGM, these 4 matters, if done at an AGM, 4 matters, if done at an AGM, ordinary business. Appointment of directors in the place of those retiring. Later on, when you come to final, you will learn about retirement of directors, etc. Right now, at every AGM, a certain number of directors will retire. When you appoint directors, either they are reappointed or somebody else is appointed in the place of those retiring. That is an ordinary business. If you are appointing a fresh director, new director, that is not ordinary business, that is special business. Where existing directors are retiring and you are reappointing them or appointing somebody in their place, that is ordinary business. The appointment of and fixing the remuneration of auditors, ordinary business, if done at an AGM. All other business at an AGM and all business at any other meeting shall be deemed to be special business. All other business at an AGM means other than these 4, any other business at an AGM and all business at any other meeting shall be deemed to be special business. For example, monkey and donkey are retiring at the AGM, right? Monkey and donkey are retiring at the AGM. You are reappointing monkey and donkey. That is ordinary business. In addition to that, you are appointing Mr. Jackal. In addition to that, you are appointing Mr. Jackal as a director. That is special business. Got it? It's another matter. any other business, but done at an AGM. Still, it is a special business. Got it? As the name implies, ordinary business is routine. Consideration of financial statement, appointing directors in the place of those retiring, appointing and fixing the remuneration of auditor, declaration of dividend. These are all ordinary. We know what it is. No need for explanation. But other than this, why? What are you doing? Why are you appointing Ch-7? Who is Ch-7? I want to know. So there should be a statement setting out the following material facts concerning each item of special business to be transacted at a general meeting. Okay, so explanatory statement setting out material facts should be annexed or should be given along with the notice calling the meeting. So, in the case of special business, explanatory statement setting out the material facts should be included or annexed to the notice. What are the matters to be included in the statement? The nature of concern or interest, financial or otherwise, if any, in respect of each items of every director and manager, every other key managerial personnel, any other information and facts that may enable members to understand the meaning, scope, and implications of the items of business and to take decision. The principle, as usual, I am not into this sort of nitpicking, this, that, like this, like that. Principle. The principle is that the members should be enabled to take an informed decision. So if you do not give some information and it will prevent him from taking informed decision, Baba, you have failed in your duty. You can't argue after that. Okay. So the purpose of segregating ordinary and special is special business is special. I may not understand why you are doing it. So I need to be given some special information for taking an informed decision. Therefore, the law makes it mandatory that every item of special business should have an explanatory statement. Whereas for ordinary business, there is no need for this. That is why we are segregating ordinary from special. Okay. Alteration of share capital, is it a special business? Answer is very simple. Does it come under one of these four? No. So if it's done at an AGM or at any other meeting, it is a special business. Saboni Das, other than these four, all other matters are special business. So if you keep on asking me 1, 2, 3 like that, every time I'll keep on telling you special business, special business, special business like that. So answer is very simple. Is it coming under one of these four? Nahi, na. Therefore, special business. Got it? So you keep on asking me, I'll keep on telling you special business, special business. But you don't have to ask me. Just read this 4 matters. If it comes in this ordinary business, other than the special business, I will tell you. Now you are appointing Ch-7. That Ch-7 is a relative of the MD. Very important. MD's relative is being appointed. Why? You understand? So whether that means the MD is interested in the matter. Ch-7 is his distant relative, a marriage. Not distant relative, a relative as defined under the Companies Act. Maybe his brother or his son's wife or son's daughter's husband, whatever it is. I need to know. Are you able to understand? So, that interest has to be given. But also you want to give, suppose you want to say Ch-7 is the relative of MD, but he is having some specialized knowledge in the industry where we are working. Therefore, we want to take him. Good. Now I know informed decision. Oh, though Ch-7 is related to the MD, he brings with him some important knowledge. Also, you might want to give salary. The salary paid to him is the same salary which is paid to a similarly qualified person in any other company. Yes, that is related to MD. So what? Like that. So that is all. Okay, so we have to give whether any director is having any interest or any other or relatives of the persons, because he may not have an interest, but the relative may be having an interest. In those cases, you have to mention. So Ch-7 may not be related to MD, but Ch-7 may be related to MD's wife. See, think about it. MD's wife's brother, is he a relative? Managing director's wife's brother, Is he a relative? No. But see, Ch-7 is brother-in-law of MD, means wife's brother. Is he MD's relative? No, sir. Brother-in-law is not a relative. But is he related to the relative of the MD? Yes. His wife ka brother, na? Brother is relative, na? So there you have to give, na? That is why. So idea is, any nexus, any lack of independence should be mentioned. Along with that, you can give other information justifying. See, when I am drafting an explanatory statement, I'll be very, very careful. I will say that Mr. Ch-7 is a relative of Mrs. MD, as he is her brother. We are appointing Mr. Ch-7 because he is bringing extraordinary expertise in engineering, EPC. Our company is engaged in EPC contracts, and he is having more than 30 years or 20 years experience in EPC. He has worked in such and such companies, where his last drawn salary was, whatever, 45 lakhs, 50 lakhs, 60 lakhs. We have negotiated with him, and now we are going to pay him 60 lakhs together with the following benefits. Members are getting enough data to give an informed decision. If they like Ch-7, appoint. Don't like Ch-7, don't appoint. It's all. Majority of the members, if they agree, Ch-7 becomes director. Got it? Simple. There is no need to get blah like that. Okay. Got it? Where any item of special business is to be transacted at a meeting of the company relates to or affects any other company, the extent of shareholding or interest in that other company of every promoter, director, or managerial personnel of the first mentioned company, provided it is not less than 2% of the paid up share capital, should be set out in this statement. See, A Limited is giving a loan to B Limited. Some of the promoters, directors, manager, or key managerial personnel are holding shares in B Limited. If that amount of capital is not less than 2% of the paid up share of that company, then it has to be disclosed. Again, it is a question of independence. See, we are giving a loan to a company where this fellow is holding 35%. We should know about it, yeah. Then justify it. That is your choice. But first I should know. Some intercompany transaction is happening. Why? I can ask. Okay. And if you are going to, or you are entering into giving a contract, in that company, MD is having 60% stake. I should know about that. Oh, so you're giving a contract to a related party. Agreed. There are other protections, sir. There are other protections like related party transaction, 188, etc., etc. In addition to that, when you're going for a resolution, you have to give details. In case any contract or agreement is to be inspected, you should tell when it can be seen and where such document can be inspected. Suppose you are entering into a contract. The members are entitled to see the contract. You are appointing Ch-7 and entering into a contract of employment letter, appointment contract, employment contract. I can see that. As a member, I am entitled to see. Okay. Again, don't make generalized statements, Mr. Aslam. This is unnecessarily general statement. Ordinary and special business, both ordinary resolution. How can I say that? The Act has so many sections. In some sections, they prescribed ordinary. In some sections, they prescribed special. So, it depends. Okay. But by and large, ordinary business or ordinary resolution. Ordinary business, because appointment of directors in the place of those retiring, ordinary resolution. Consideration in financial statements, ordinary resolution. Declaration of any dividend, ordinary resolution. No need for special. Appointment and fixing the remuneration of auditor, also ordinary resolution. To my knowledge, there is no situation where it requires special. In those days, there was a special resolution, 224A. Now there is not there. So, instead of agreeing with your statement, I can try to humbly submit to you, Mr. Aslam, that all ordinary businesses will be ordinary resolution. But special business may be ordinary resolution or it may be special resolution. It depends on the section under which you are passing the resolution. Have I made myself clear, sir? But I can, even there I am tongue in cheek, I am telling, by and large, ordinary business are all ordinary resolution. But all special business may not be ordinary resolution or special resolution. Okay. So you have not understood ordinary and special. In the meantime, you are giving comment. Wow. I love you, Mr. Aslam. Without understanding, you will make comment. We'll come to ordinary resolution, special resolution. Every section in the Act has different resolution. One section will say ordinary resolution, another section is special. All are special business. But one can be ordinary resolution, another can be special resolution. You understand? Appointment of statutory auditor in case of casual vacancy is an ordinary business or special business. Let us understand. Casual vacancy occurs when? During the year. So, you have to appoint to fill the casual vacancy within 1 month. First of all, it could even be a board resolution because even board can fill. Only when it is resignation, members can have to appoint. Go back to auditors and study that properly first. Other than resignation, board can fill casual vacancy. Who will hold office till the conclusion of the next AGM? Okay. Other than if it is a resignation, then only members can fill. That meeting will not be an AGM. That will be an EGM. So even the above matter, appointment of auditor, if done at any other meeting, will become a special business. Got it? So good question. Manoj, excellent question. So appointment of statutory auditor in case of casual vacancy by resignation. Please add that also. Other than resignation, board can appoint. Go back to your slide and see. I have already shared. Hello, I have shared the slides. All the slides I have uploaded. Kindly check whether you have downloaded it and started preparing or whatever you want to do with it. Yesterday, 3 people were asking, no, Sraboni Das, I think, I don't know, not Sraboni, somebody else was asking. Kindly ensure. It has been yesterday night. I went to Vellore for a workshop. I came back at around 9:30. The first thing I did was switched on my computer, switched on the AC because very hot in Chennai, switched on the computer. First thing I did was I uploaded everything. Okay. So then I will, this, I gave the example of Ram and Ravan, right? When Ram gave him 1 day's time, no, Ravan, that night he could not sleep because he felt like a man who is indebted. So I was, yesterday night, day before yesterday night, I was worried. These people I have promised, I have not given. So immediately I said, tomorrow, whatever happens, I go. Tomorrow, yesterday I was conducting a workshop at Vellore for entrepreneurs for a whole day. So when I went there, came back. It's about 2.5 hours drive from Chennai. So back again 2.5 hours. I came home. First thing I did was I uploaded. Right? In that you go and read, you will find the auditors. Yeah. Okay. So good question, but Manojji, very good question. Okay. Right. Any benefit may accrue to a promoter, director, or manager as a result of non-disclosure or insufficient disclosure. Then, see, suppose you have not disclosed the interest of a promoter or director or manager, and he is getting some benefit as a result of non-disclosure or insufficient disclosure, then that benefit will be held in trust for the company. He cannot take it. He has to give it to the company. And he is liable to compensate the company to the extent of the benefit received by him. That is why you have to be very, very careful and disclose all material facts and interest of director, manager, KMP, relative of director, manager, or KMP. Please. Similarly, you have to disclose shareholding. Don't take a risk. Disclose it fully. Okay? Don't argue and waste your time. Don't try to find loophole. Go for the principle. What is the principle? Members should be enabled to take an informed decision. Give them all the facts. Don't cheat them. See, you are protecting the investor here. Don't play games with them. And using your professional knowledge, don't try to twist the law and make it out. Okay? Comply with the law. Chalo. So, sir, less than 2% also disclosure. Why should I tell? I don't understand what you're telling. Because here it says that not less than 2%, it has to be disclosed. Where the shareholding pattern is not, where you are holding not less than 2% of the paid-up share capital, then only you have to set out here. There, less than 2%, why you have to tell? I don't understand. Again, you are starting your joke, your activities of telling me what to do and all that. Are you asking a question or are you telling me what to do? Penalty for default in compliance with section 1 or 2, as usual, promoter and director or other KMP who is in default, 50,000, 5 times the amount of benefit accruing. He has to give the benefit and pay 5 times as a penalty. Okay. This is without prejudice to the duty to compensate the company for any benefit received. Suppose he is entitled to some commission. As per the agreement, the company is entering into a contract with another company. One of the clauses in that agreement is that the MD will get commission. Okay. So there is a concern or interest or financial where the director is involved, managing director is involved. You are not disclosed it. He is getting that commission from that other company. That is a benefit which is not disclosed. It has to be paid. In addition to that, he has to pay 5 times the benefit. That is the commission he has to pay as a penalty to the government. Right? So with this, I'm going to give a small break. Now the time is 7:50. We will recommence the class at 8 o'clock. Right? Small break. Yes. Welcome back from your well-deserved break. And wonderful. We have very good discussions. Again, I appreciate Manoj Kumar Thakur for getting this very nice question regarding special business, ordinary business. But what you need to understand is very simple. These four matters are ordinary. That is why Manoj Kumar Thakur's question is interesting. It relates to auditors, but appointment in casual vacancy in case of resignation. Yeah. So now moving on to quorum, not quorum, quorum. Quorum. Okay. Quorum means the minimum number of persons required to constitute and transact a business at a meeting. Minimum number. It's called quorum. Okay. Again, it's a Latin term. It's a minimum number of persons required for constituting a valid meeting and transacting business at that meeting. Quorum, but please don't confuse with carom, C-A-R-R-O-M, carom. Carom is a game, an indoor game, carom. I remember because in AC's Institute, there used to have CC exam. When I conduct 5 days of classes, then I will conduct a test. In that test, one person is writing carom, C-A-R-R-O-M. Like our friend has written quorum, Q-U-O-R-A-M. Q-U-O-R-U-M, quorum. Quorum means the minimum number of persons required to constitute and transact business at a meeting. Quorum in those days, quorum for a meeting of a public company was 5 members personally present. Which is why Muhammad Aslam, when I was giving my example of in the entire hall only 5 fellows were present, he was asking, sir, how can you say 5? There are so many members like that. Correctly, because Aslam has studied the book, Institute material. So he knows what is quorum. But in those days, in the old law, quorum for a public company was 5 members personally present. Whatever may be the membership of that company, whatever may be the number of members of that company, 5 members personally present in quorum. Now they have amended the new law, not amended, the new law having slab. Number of members as on date of meeting, not more than 1,000. That is 1,000 or less. Then 5 members personally present. 5 members personally present. So that is the old, up to 1,000, 5 members personally present. More than 1,000, that is 1,001, up to 5,000, 15 members personally present. 5,001 and above exceeds 5,000, then 30 members, 30 members. 5, 15, 30. 30 members personally present. So I'm learning Hindi numbers. That is why I'm telling 5, 15, 30. So 5 personally present. What does that personally present mean? I will explain to you. But I want you to note it. Personally present. Quorum for the general meetings of a private company shall be 2 members personally present. Because a private company can have sirf 2 members. So sirf 2 hai. Then when only 2 members are there, how you can expect more? So minimum 2 members should be personally present. Right? There is no slab. Public company, there is a slab. Quorum prescribed above shall be applicable only if the articles of the company do not prescribe a larger number. See, in your articles, you can say, our company, when it has not more than 1,000, 10 members personally present, you can say. But 4 members, no. You can prescribe a larger number, but not a lesser number. Okay. Smaller number. You can prescribe a larger number. Okay. The word personally denotes that a proxy will not be counted in the quorum. Who is a proxy? A person attending the meeting on behalf of a member. So the member is not attending, but he wants to vote. He wants to exercise his vote. Then he can send a proxy. That proxy will not be counted in the quorum. That is why they are using the word personally present. So the word personally means a proxy will not be counted in quorum. Please note, joint shareholders of shares shall be counted as single member for the purposes of ascertaining quorum. So don't take this as a general rule and argue. For ascertaining quorum, joint holders shall be counted as single member. Only for this purpose. Other elsewhere we saw they can be counted alag separate. But here, joint holders shall be counted as single member for the purpose of counting or ascertaining quorum. The word general meeting includes both AGM and EGM. Whereas if they want specific, they will say AGM or EGM. So the word general meeting, the private company also, both AGM or EGM, whichever it is, if it is a general meeting, includes both AGM and EGM. Okay. Whenever I say general meeting, we mean both AGM and EGM. If we want specific AGM, we'll say annual general meeting. Specific EGM, we'll say extraordinary general meeting. Okay. Section 103 shall apply to a private company otherwise specified in the respective sections. See, some sections of the Companies Act will apply to private company subject to the articles. The articles, if they provide otherwise, that will prevail. Got it? Which is why you saw there in your incorporation topic, normally the act will prevail over the articles. But where the act specifically says that articles can provide otherwise, like in 103, then the articles will prevail, even though the act prescribes. But remember, even your articles cannot prescribe a lesser number. They can only prescribe a larger number. That you cannot change. But other rules of quorum you can change. In the case of specified AFSC public company, unless otherwise specified in the articles of the company. Now, we have seen quorum, we have seen number of members for public, private, etc., etc. Now, what happens if the quorum is not present? Okay, IFSC company not important. Okay, sir? IFSC company not important. Don't break your head on the wall about it. Please, my humble request to you, to everybody. IFSC company, don't break your head on the wall about it. Even if it is what is so difficult, IFSC company, certain sections will apply, certain sections not apply. That is all. Okay. It is not important. Okay. Body corporate is a member, sir. Definitely. 100%. Good question, Mr. Parsadi. Thank you for that good question. Body corporate is counted. Okay. When the representative attends, that is personally present. See, the usual body corporate cannot come now. It is an artificial person. How it can come? So it has to authorize somebody to attend on its behalf. We'll be seeing that. Such a case, it's personally present. That person may send somebody. That is a proxy. Okay. I will explain more when we come to representation of bodies corporate at meetings of companies. But basically, this is the simple principle. Body corporate is a member. They are entitled to attend and vote. Obviously, it cannot come in person. So that body corporate at a board meeting will authorize one donkey to come. That donkey personally present. That is, company is personally present through that donkey. But in case that donkey is appointing monkey, that monkey becomes proxy. That's all. Okay. Sorry to use donkey monkey. Don't think I'm making fun. But that's the way I normally give examples. And don't underestimate donkeys and monkeys. No, when I was in Vrindavan, I don't know if you know this. Those of you who live near Delhi and Agra, you know. Vrindavan, the monkeys are menace. And I went to Vrindavan to worship Lord Krishna. But everybody kept on warning, Srikanji, don't wear your specs, don't wear your specs. I kept the specs inside my pocket and I went into the temple. But there is one Andalka temple there in Vrindavan. And but see, from 11 years old, I've been wearing specs. I can't see without specs. So once I came out of the temple, then I wanted to read something. So I wore my specs again. I was sitting in a mandapam. Suddenly from the back, one fellow monkey came. I don't know what was. Suddenly he pulled that this specs. And it's a very, very costly specs, very light specs, because I wear it 24/7. So I fellow took it and ran away. Then I was running behind the monkey, and monkey went and sat on a pillar top, and it was biting my specs. And I don't know what to do. Then I remembered the capsule story. So luckily, one lady gave me an apple. I threw that apple. Immediately, that monkey threw the specs. That specs fell into near the temple tank. Near the temple tank it fell. Luckily, it didn't fall in the water. Then somebody went and collected and gave to me. So thereafter, sorry to tell this unnecessary monkey bandar ka story, but if you are going to Vrindavan, please do not wear your what do you call it? Chashma. Keep the chashma in your pocket. Never wear your chashma. Always keep it in the pocket. It's a lesson I learned in Vrindavan last year, November. Okay. Anyway, not last year, November. Year before last. I was in Delhi that time. Sorry for that Bandar story. More to relax and to think. But anyway, nothing happened. The specs came back and I was able to live my life normally. Okay. Coming back. If the quorum is not present within half an hour from the time appointed for holding the meeting of the company. Okay. So, you call the meeting at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. quorum is not present. The chairman or whoever the persons are there, they have to wait for half an hour. Within half an hour, if the quorum is not present, then a meeting called by the requisitionist under section 100, you remember the requisition meeting, EGM called by the requisitionists themselves. 21 days, within 45 days, the board has to call, board has not called. Then within 3 months, board members, the requisitionists themselves can call. Not they are holding. Such a meeting, quorum is not present. That means what? The requisition is not holding any they don't have confidence of the members. Quorum is not present. Then that meeting shall stand cancelled. That is all. No more meeting. In other cases, the meeting shall stand adjourned to the same day in the next week at the same time and place, or to such other date and such other time and place as the board may determine. Please note, requisitionist meeting called by the requisitionists themselves. Please note the distinction. If it is called by the board, then the other rule will apply. But if it is called by requisitionists themselves and they are not able to get even quorum, then the meeting shall stand cancelled. See, these buggers have wanted a meeting. They called, even quorum is not coming, then the meeting shall stand cancelled. That is the principle. In other cases where the board is calling and the meeting, the quorum is not present within half an hour. Okay, so this meeting shall stand adjourned to the same day in the next week at the same time and place, or to such other date and such other time and place as the board may determine. So either same day, same time in the next week or place, or the board can decide some other time and place and announce. Whatever it is, the meeting will not be cancelled. It will stand adjourned. Friends, the word stand is a very powerful word. Stand means by operation of law. When a meeting is adjourned by operation of law, you will use the word stand. Here, this is called statutory adjournment. There are a few statutory adjournments in the Companies Act. This is one of them, where a meeting could not be held for want of quorum. Quorum is not present within half an hour. If the meeting is called by requisition, it shall stand cancelled. In other cases, the meeting shall stand adjourned to the same day, same time, same place, or at some other date and time and place as the board may determine. This is to give an opportunity to have that meeting. If at the adjourned meeting also, whether by the board or whether same day, same time, same place next week, quorum is not present within half an hour from the time appointed for holding the meeting, members present shall be the quorum. Members present, I have put it in red. What do you mean? Earlier they said members should be personally present. Quorum should be members personally present. Here they are saying members present shall be the quorum. What do you understand by this? Members present means a member may be present in two ways. A member may be present in two ways. One, in person, physically, or it's the company through an authorized representative, or through proxy. Member is present through proxy. So when they say members present, they mean whether by person or in proxy. When they say members personally present, that means only personal presence. Proxy is not counted. But here they are saying members present. Therefore, even a proxy shall be a quorum. So what is the conclusion? At a meeting adjourned for want of quorum, proxy can be counted, even one single proxy. Why I am saying single? Because later on in General Clauses Act, you will learn that words in the plural include the singular. In the General Clauses Act, you will learn that words indicating the plural include the singular. That means members includes member one. So even a single member present shall be a quorum. Okay. Anyway, I thank Pranay for a nice compliment. Your Hindi going to be good day by day. Yes, I want to learn Hindi little fluently. Let us see. Okay. I've never been to Ayodhya. Ayodhya is one place where I've not gone, and I will be careful about monkeys there. But anyway, I'm a great devotee of Hanumanji. So whenever this happens now, I think Hanumanji is blessing me. In some way, Hanuman wanted to touch me and, make me aware. So he came and he took my chashma and he ran away. That was a message he was giving to me. Maybe some message that be careful, take care. Like that, he was giving some warning. That's how I take that incident. So good. Thank you. Sorry for this Buddhaka, unnecessary comments and all, but that makes part of classes entertaining. See, if I only talk about subject, it's a little boring after that time. Anyway, quorum is a very interesting area, and this particular topic is very interesting. And so this is a question, sometimes in the exam they ask, whether a single member constitute a quorum at the general meeting. Yes. As I told you, General Clauses Act, singular includes plural and plural includes singular. Words indicating the plural include the singular. Therefore, members present, it says single member. So members personally present is not said, members present. Hence, a proxy will be counted in the quorum at the adjourned meeting, provided the original meeting was adjourned for want of quorum. All adjourned meeting proxy cannot be counted. Only a meeting adjourned for want of quorum, proxy can be. Also, you remember when an AGM is held by the tribunal or EGM is called or ordered to be called by the tribunal, then that meeting you will find that the members, even a single member, will be counted for quorum. See that. Let's quickly see that. Even a single member, one of the directions can be, they will say that. One of the directions can be such directions may include a direction that one member of the company present in person or by proxy shall be deemed to constitute. So even a single proxy. So where an AGM is directed to be called under 97 or GM, general meeting, or EGM is directed under 98, a single proxy can be a member. So three situations are there where one member can form a valid quorum, even one proxy can form a valid quorum. Please remember, sometimes they might ask you in the exam. Okay. If in adjourned meeting, joint shareholders are counted 1 or 2. For counting quorum, joint is taken as 1. Okay. So that is the general rule for quorum. For counting quorum, okay. I'm sorry to keep on shifting. Yeah. Joint holders shall be counted a single member for the purpose of ascertaining quorum. Okay. Whether in adjourned meeting or whether at the main meeting. Good question. In case of an adjourned meeting or of change of day, time of or place of meeting, or the company shall give not less than 3 days notice to the members, either individually or publishing an advertisement in newspaper, one in English and one in vernacular in the place. So where the board is deciding the date of the adjourned meeting, so then they should give 3 days notice. Okay. Now there is a secretarial standard. This is a mandatory standard. Many secretarial standards are only directory, but this is a mandatory standard. Therefore, we have to discuss. Very important. This is not there in the Act, but it is there in the secretarial standard. Secretarial standards have been mandatorily prescribed by the Companies Act. Therefore, you have to know this. Quorum shall be present throughout the meeting. Normally, in those days, we used to argue that it is enough if the quorum is present at the beginning of the meeting. Now they have said, secretarial standard says, quorum shall be present throughout the meeting. Not only